Hi, I'm James Napier, founder of Carbon Expert, and I want to take you through how to use our dashboard. So this is our website homepage, and the first thing that you do to get through, whether you've signed up or you're already a member, is to click on this button. So once you get to this screen, if you haven't signed up, you simply put in your name, email address, create and confirm a password, agree to the terms of the privacy policy, and click sign up. If you've already signed up, click sign in, put in your email address, your password, and it immediately takes you back to your current dashboard. So for those of you who haven't seen the dashboard before, let me explain it to you. It's designed to be very icon based, to be very intuitive to understand. It starts off by showing you how much you've reduced your carbon footprint from your benchmark, and because nobody knows what a ton of carbon looks like, then we've put that in the equivalent of cars that you've taken off the road each year. It also then shows you what you did last month versus what you've done this month. And again, we've structured the dashboard to be very intuitive. So green is good, red is bad. If you've gone down, this icon is green and smaller than this one. If your carbon footprint in the month has gone up, this one becomes bigger and is red. So again, very visually reinforcing the progress that you're making with your carbon reduction. The dashboard also reports intensity metrics. Intensity metrics are the amount of carbon that you emit per unit of activity in your business. These are important, one, because they form part of the formal reporting for businesses obligated to report under streamlined energy and carbon reporting, but also they're a very good way, if you're a growing business and your absolute carbon footprint is increasing, for you to measure and show that your per unit of activity carbon footprint is moving in the right direction. So in the background, we track 9 carbon intensity metrics. You can select and report up to 3. You can do 1, 2 or 3. Simply select or deselect the ones that you want, and those will display on the dashboard. We track 9 intensity metrics per employee, per pupils. We do some work with schools, per unit of turnover, square metre of office space or production space, or per kilowatt hour of electricity and gas, road miles per car, or road miles of vans or HGVs. And again, you can look at those versus the benchmark or versus the previous period. And again, you can display those in kilograms or tons of CO2, depending on which is right for your business. So intensity metrics are important because if you're a growing company and you are increasing your absolute carbon emissions, or because you're acquiring a company, your total emissions have gone up, your intensity metrics is a great way of measuring carbon efficiency. So even if you're growing, you can demonstrate that your emissions per employee are still going down because of the measures that you're taking. They're also a great way, if you're a multi-site company, to be able to benchmark different sites within your organization against not just how much they're emitting, but what their intensity emissions are per unit of activity in the business. We have some partners that are using the dashboard to support larger companies who are obligated to report under streamlined energy and carbon reporting. As part of that reporting, they are required to choose one metric that is appropriate to their organization, entirely at their own discretion. And so we're finding that most users will find one of these intensity metrics the right one for them to use as part of their SECR reporting. The 2 main areas of emissions in companies are energy and transport. So we break those down so you can see how much your carbon emissions you have in each of those areas, and really where they're coming from and how you're progressing on reducing that. So the first one is total carbon in energy. It looks at what your total carbon is, how much you've reduced it down since the last period, and then it looks at where that is, how much of it is in electricity, how much of it in gas and steam if you have that in your business. And then it also allows you to track what percentage of your electricity and gas comes from certified green sources, which is a great way, if it's very low, for you to know that switching to green tariffs would be a good first step for you reducing your carbon emissions down. The next area we do is total carbon in business travel, and similar to the carbon in energy, it looks at the amount of carbon emissions produced by travel that is done for the delivery of goods and services in your business, how you've moved from the previous period, and then what percentage of your travel is done through green vehicles, hybrids or fully electric vehicles. You also have the option, even though the dashboard is icon based, is to represent each of the areas in graph form if that's more useful to the people that you're presenting the dashboard for. You'll notice here the Future Net Zero standard symbol. This is really about companies being able to set targets, track where they're doing, and actually be part of a standard that validates the data within their dashboard so that their stakeholders can rely on the validated data should they need to. So when you start your dashboard, it comes in just as a standard mark without any criteria, but as you progress the reduction of your carbon emissions, when you get to 10%, it turns to bronze, 20 silver, 30 gold and 50 platinum. And we'll see an example of that as we go through the training. People who sign up to the Future Net Zero standard will get an annual certified standard that they can publish and use to say that their carbon footprint has been independently certified by Future Net Zero. So if you're a company that has more than one site, you can create a dashboard for each of those sites very easily. So if you go into the drop down menu here and go into site management, you can create a site or a dashboard for each of the sites that you have within your company, and then you can track and manage the carbon emissions independently at each of those sites. What you might want to do as well is obviously report on a company basis. So the way that you do that is to create a new site. So we can put this in as corporate, put in the address, say that it's an existing user, select the existing user, press save. It gives you the information of how much that's going to cost you in the year and that information has been added to your account. And then you will notice here that on each of these it says make corporate site. And because the corporate site is the sum of all of your individual sites, you never enter data into that site. All you do is click. That says it's been marked as a corporate site, and now when you go back into that, you have created a corporate site that aggregates all of the individual sites together, and you can now report as your company site. Okay, so I've taken you through the functionality of the dashboard, what it reports, how it works. What people want to know now is how do I enter data and how easy is it? So to enter a report, you click on here. Obviously we've put data in, these would all be blank, but the same principle applies. You will see here that the previous 12 months from the time you log in are annotated with a B. These are your benchmark, and this is what your total reductions are managed against. If you go into a month, click on the green tick and it takes you into the data entry screen. So here is the company info. These are the denominators of the intensity metrics. You can update these every month. We would see that these would be constant maybe for a quarter, half a year or a year, depending on the size and shape of your business and how it changes. Simply put those in: pounds of turnover, meters squared of office and production space, number of employees, and click add. Then you're ready to enter some of the usage data. The first one is travel. So you click in, select whether it's a small, medium or large car. You can find a useful ready reckoner that tells you which type of car falls into which category, or you can click on average car, and you can use this to enter every individual car that you've got in your fleet, or you can aggregate them into the different categories. It's whatever's right for you and your business. Once you've selected the car type, simply type in the number of miles that you've done, click add, and that's automatically added to the dashboard here. So if you've made a mistake or you want to amend, simply click the dustbin and it takes you back, takes it out, and you're ready to go again. Once you've done car travel, this is for internal combustion, petrol and diesel cars, you can move on to look at vans, trucks, either rigids or refrigerated trucks, and then you can do the same for hybrid or fully electric vehicles or trains and planes. Simply add in the number of trips, the number of miles that you've had, and once you click add, it automatically updates the dashboard. Once you've done travel, we move on to energy. So simply from your electricity bill, all electricity bills are different. Enter kilowatt hours for electricity and gas, enter your steam usage, and then on your utility bill you will see kilowatt hours for green electricity or renewable electricity and gas that are denoted. Simply enter those numbers here. Once you've finished, click add, and it updates the dashboard. You will have noticed on the left here that you start off with red crosses and they move to green ticks, so it's a handy guide to say these are the sections that have been completed and data has been added in. The final section is a direct carbon button, and direct carbon is essentially anything else that you choose to measure. Some people use this for paper, some people use this for water, for waste. Some of our users don't yet use this at the start of their journey. So you can leave this blank or you can put a number in here. We have a number of users who have simple ready reckoners for things like water and paper usage that gives them a number that they add in. If you don't start using this when you create your benchmark, don't worry. You can go back and add these numbers back into your benchmark, and so you're creating a like for like comparison when you do start using this section. And once you've finished entering data, you press publish to dashboard. It comes up with a number of badges that you can download, put into social media, put into presentations, and really these are designed to allow you to be able to promote to your stakeholders the progress that you're making in reducing your carbon emissions. And then when you've done, simply return to the dashboard, and that's it. In case you need any help or guidance, click on the question mark, and then you can go through and it'll take you through some prompts and hints that will help you and explain the dashboard to you. If you don't find the answers here to what you want, please visit the website, and that will show you all of the FAQs and also the contact details that you can get in touch with us if you still can't find what you're looking for. To end with, in terms of account management, go into settings and you can look here at your user profile. You can put in the information that supports your profile within the system. You can look at billing. You can see the payment details that you've put in, the billing address. You can look at when your subscription start date was, the total costs in the year, and then you can view the historic payments that come with your account. You can also here sign up to the Carbon Expert newsletter or unsubscribe from all communications, whichever is most suitable for you. And here you can actually change your password as and when you need to. What you can also do when you sign in is upload your company's logo, and if you want to change that, go into settings and you can actually change your company logo here that always appears in the top left corner of the dashboard.